So today, for our podcast, I wanted to talk about night vision mounting, more specifically, a mount made by a company called GBRS. So GBRS is kind of interesting because basically they're like I think like a training company or something. I'm actually not really sure what they're actually about, but they sell swag, so they sell patches and t-shirts and random stuff like that. And they put out a lot of videos showing CQB and giving, I guess, like little clips of training and stuff that they do, right? And so they're a little bit of a hype company, but also they want to like try to establish their credibility because like one of their guys apparently was like a Navy SEAL or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so they recently started coming out with a lot of products, and GBRS stands for Global Battlefield Research. What is it? Research. Oh my God. Why am I forgetting?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
What does this stand for again?
Oh my
Global
god.
Battlefield Research. See, I only know the funny names for it because one of my favorite ones is gonna be real expensive because all of their products are like really expensive. Like they have a battle belt that they sell and it's like $400, and I'm like, it's just the belt, right? Which is like, you know what? If you think your product is worth that much, by all means, that's on you. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was this mount. Okay, let's just get to the meat of it.
We're just
Okay,
gonna skip over the fact that you don't even know the name of them.
this is how bad it is. Okay, like the fact that it's like I don't even know, and it's like super cringy too. Like Battlefield Research, fuck, like what kind of services? No. It's got to be something else. I mean,
Probably systems.
I've thoroughly researched the global battlefield, and I found that the global battlefield is researched. Okay. So basically, this mount, I guess, is designed for you to free up space on your rail. So let's find a good picture. I guess here's kind of like a 3D model of it. So it's funny because it looks like the USS Enterprise, but it is crazy tall.
It looks cool.
If we give you like a point of reference, the standard height is I think direct co-witness is 1.57 height, and then 170 is lower 1/3. So those would be like the two most common heights that you would normally use for an optic over the bore. Then a lot of companies started making different heights that kind of allow for use with night vision, gas masks, and maybe just like more of an upright shooting position. So these guys, ScalarWorks has a 193 height. The Unity Fast is 2.26, and then the Knight's Armament night vision mount is like 2.33, which I think is actually quite high already, comparatively speaking. And so this next one, though, is like, I mean, head in the clouds high. But it also just looks funky, I guess, and seems like it would present a lot of potential snag hazards. So when you look at like this photo here, you got the PEC mounted on it, you've got the optic mounted on it, and this optic is on like, I mean, it looks like the fucking Eye of Sauron, you know? But I mean, people talk about like certain products that you put on your rifle and like them being a snag hazard. And it's like, I can kind of see the potential use on a PDW. So like, to give you an example, this is the Knight's Armament 2.2 or 2.33 height optic, but the mount is mounted backwards. So they mounted the PEC to the back side of it, but it's reverse positioning, whereas normally it would be the other way with a magnifier behind the red dot.
But this makes sense. I like this.
This is actually relatively clean. Like I actually like the way this is done. I've also seen a combination of people using the Unity Fast height micro
Right.
mount, and
Yeah.
then what they
And
do is they use the Unity fast riser that's meant for the EOTech,
mm,
and they put their PEC on top. And
that
then
makes
this
sense.
actually allows you to put switches on the little bit of Picatinny rail in front of the
So
PEC,
yeah.
and it makes it so that when you're actuating the switches, then you're not blocking the illuminator or the laser. So that's actually not a terrible setup. So it just feels like this GBRS mount is a little bit unnecessary and just really out there, like out there in space.
Or heads up in the cloud because it's so
Yeah,
tall.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, okay, so this is your first time seeing it, right? So give me
Yeah.
like your impression of it.
Yeah, I just think it's so looking at that silhouette right there, like the red one, the red and black one, like the third picture right there.
This one, yeah,
Yeah, it literally looks like if I'm just not looking at close, if I didn't know what it is, it just looked like you have a really tall mount. Like it looks like two separate things to me. Like it
yeah.
looks like, and then it looks like so it's like a gooseneck mount. It's like they look at the gooseneck mount and like we can do this again, but yeah, like the old M16 gooseneck mounts.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, especially when you present me the KAC, the backwards KAC one, right?
yeah.
Like that one makes sense, and that one looks clean. So I just don't get why this exists. Especially like you said, the snag hazard. The only thing I can think of would be if you put buttons under it, so you can like hit your use it under it. Put your hand so you can put your hand under your pec box, basically, right? And you can
I've
put your
seen,
thumb
I
under
mean,
it.
that's the interesting thing is like, the Knights
Mhm.
Armament one and the Unity combo one also does essentially the same thing. So if you imagine, like, okay, take this picture, but instead of the Wilcox optic, you have a PEC box on top of it, and then you
Mhm.
have like some optic of your choice behind it. That actually ends up doing essentially the same thing, and it reduces the potential snag hazard by
Yeah.
quite a bit. The other thing you have to think about too is I don't remember exactly what the height on this is, but I remember it's significantly higher than like most of the other mounts there. Your height over bore, like your mechanical offset, is crazy high. And then also, you have to consider that your laser also is now
Super offset.
like super offset. So I don't know if that like means that essentially what you're trying to accomplish is going to be made significantly more difficult, being that the mechanical offset's super high.
I just don't understand. Like, I guess what I don't understand because I don't do like that much night vision shooting. I do some, but not enough to really like know. But like, what is this for? I guess like what gun it's meant for. Like because even looking at like the tiny rattlers or something, you still have Picatinny in front. So like the only thing I could think of would be like if your only rail segment is your top flat upper receiver, like you
Yeah,
know what I mean. So it's like, but nobody makes that. They'll be like, if I took like an M4, an M4A1 with round handguards, and I need to give it a night vision capability, but then that's not what you're advertising. None of the guns you advertise it with are
yeah.
like that.
Like, I mean, look
So
at the rail space on this
yeah,
one.
no, exactly, right? You have side rails, bottom rail, top rail. Like you're not helping yourself, right? Like
Yeah,
if it
like
was
this
like
one right
yeah,
here.
if it was like an M16, maybe like an M16, like or an M4 with just a top rail, fine, I get it, right? Or especially with a short gun, but
But the problem is they're also not, yeah, I mean, like they're not trying to like they have to show modern guns. And
mhm.
so basically like this is like counterintuitive to like the whole point of it, I guess.
Yeah. So like, I mean,
Um
like, what would you put it on? Like something like a bolt gun, like a lever gun, right?
I
Like
I mean, that's why essentially this is a meme mount,
yeah.
like and I think it's ironic because GBRS tries so hard to be like super legit. Like, look, this
Mhm.
picture really designates it all in the sense that their YouTube videos and their like, okay, their trademark wording is knowledge transfer because they're like, oh, we make all these cool videos to like instruct people on like how to do like CQB and stuff. And like, granted, I've talked to some people who they have a lot of experience with CQB, and like some of them say like, GBRS actually is probably showing more than they actually should show on like a public platform. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, it just feels like it's so cringy, like the way that they represent themselves, and then also the products that they put out there. It's like I mean, up to a certain degree, I understand like paying a lot of money for a product because it's a high quality product. But then like when you release a $400 battle belt, when like a quality battle belt typically at the base level for just the belt by itself with no additional supplies or anything like that, a good quality one is like $200, maybe three. Like three is kind of stretching it, but your belt doesn't really give you anything special. Um, and so I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a miss for me.
I think it's funny that we can't even find their what GBRS stands for, like on their website. Like, you know what
That's
this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of. Do you remember War Dogs? The scene where it's like, oh, we're AEY. It's like, what does AEY stand for? Oh, it doesn't stand for anything. It's like IBM. You know, this is what it reminds me. Like GBRS. What does it stand for? Doesn't stand for anything. GBRS. It sounds
oh,
cool.
here I
Like,
got it.
get out of
Global
it.
Battlefield Research
Ah,
Solutions.
okay.
Hey, it's dynamic, environment permissive control. I can just throw
It's not.
catchphrase words to you all day.
It's not green building rating system or greater Bunbury region
Ground-based
scheme.
remote sensing,
Yeah, a
ground-based
generic
radar
block
system.
recording system.
No, but I mean, like once again, one of my favorite ones is gonna be real expensive.
Yes. Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It's
that's funny.
very interesting. But yeah, basically, like this on some level is just like a more niched or
Hmm.
nuanced grunt style.
Ah, okay.
Kind of like that, I guess. It's just like I don't know. I personally don't think necessarily that like there's a ton of value in like a lot of the designs that they put out. Like if we look at let's say their swag is like pretty simple, straightforward stuff. Um, I mean, maybe people like it, and that's fine. Like what you like, and that's cool. And
I mean,
they're
yeah, you can
and
be
and
wrong, but you still like what you like.
the fact that they have an audience that's buying it, by all means, more power to you. But it just as my personal opinion about it, I just think it's funny.
Yeah, no, I get.
Um,
That is interesting. Yeah, I think I knew about them, but I didn't know anything like much. But it is. I've never seen that mount. That's a crazy looking mount.
yeah, they don't even have. Okay, so I guess the belt's not as expensive anymore. I think it was more expensive when they came out, and I think they probably dropped the price on it because nobody
Hmm.
was buying it.
I mean,
Um,
for $400 belt,
Hey,
I'm not buying.
255 is pretty high. Like, I mean, Eagle Industries sells a belt and an inner belt system for 130 or 150. So, you still kind of have to make the jump on that one. But yeah, I guess it's one of those things. It's like I just thought the main thing I thought that was funny is that mount is just so crazy because it literally looks like the USS Enterprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like if you're in it for the quote unquote knowledge transfer, they actually have really good information on their videos. And I do know somebody who is subscribed to their Patreon because they basically decided to monetize it. So now, like all of their like basically they'll be like, "Hey, check this out," and they show you a little teaser clip, and then it's like you gotta go behind the paywall to get the real info now. But like originally, they were just releasing all their content on like Instagram and stuff like that. But basically, now you got to pay. I think it's like $15 a month. And like the guy I know who has gone in and basically like he watches some of their stuff, and he actually has a lot of experience with doing CQB. He
Hmm.
says like, yeah, their information is actually quite good and it's pretty legit. So I will give them credit on that, in the sense that like their information out there, it's not bad. It's just the way that they're like transferring the knowledge.
Through the Enterprise, they're beaming it to you through the
oh my,
mount.
oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
um, yeah, yeah, consider the global battlefield researched.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so that's all right. That's an interesting, topic. That's our thought on the Grand Bayou Racing Series. Is there anything more to add?
Well, I mean, basically, I would say that to answer your question, because you said you don't
Hmm.
use a lot of like high mounted optics and stuff, and like most of us have, from the beginning at the highest really have gone to 170, which is lower 1/3 height.
Mm.
I have shot night vision for a long time, and so basically, like, I've used a lot of different styles of mounts, and it does help to have higher mounted optics with the trade-off of having a higher, like, basically height over bore.
Right.
But the thing is, I've also used, for example, lower 1/3 EOTechs, and I've also used lower 1/3 aimpoint micros, and I've looked and shot passively through night vision with them. It's not that you can't do it. Obviously, having it mounted higher does make it easier to do so. And I could see, for example, using a gas mask, for instance, getting a passive view through it is really required. It requires you to have a higher mounted optic. But if you're doing it for night vision, you actually don't need it. It's just one of those things that can help. But realistically speaking, it is possible to shoot with lower mounted optics. So even if you're going for something that's intermediate, like the 193 is actually a really great medium between having a high mounted optic and having something that isn't too tall over the bore. That's a great option, and it works well for night vision, which is why something like this just seems almost, it's crazy to me that this is a product that got released. Like, they
Yeah.
did their global battlefield research, and they came up with a solution, and basically this solution made it through, like, they got to have people that vet this stuff, right? Like, you got to, like, have, like, control groups that you show the product to, and you, like, basically get feedback on it, and this is the final product that they came out with. I think that's why it's funny to me. Like, whenever you see a final product out there and you're thinking, all of the people you hired to consult on this didn't say to change anything, right? Is basically what I'm getting at. So I don't know. If it's a solution they're happy with, then by all means I'm happy for them. But I
I'd
just
be
thought it was a funny topic.
I'd be interested in a airsoft version just for the meme.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
if some airsoft company makes one like a fake one, I
so
wouldn't mind getting
they're
one for the meme.
they're a hype group. So I imagine that, like, at this point, I mean, the Chinese clone market is probably already working on it, is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that's our video on the Great Britain Russian Society. So, yeah, I just I'm just stuck on the fact that they couldn't even figure out what their name means, and they don't even put it on their website. And
Yeah.
it's that
No, I,
cool.
I forgot. I forgot. Like, like when you have it on the tip of your tongue, but
Mhm.
it's like that's how, like, inconsequential it is, in the sense that it's just like, what does your name even, dude? I mean,
A
people ask me that all the time, and I tell them, and they still don't know.
yeah, AEY. It doesn't mean anything. It's just
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah. It's just
like
cool.
it's just cool. Yeah, it's like DWAI. Like people
Yeah.
ask what it
It doesn't.
means, and
Yeah.
we just tell
It
them,
doesn't
"Don't worry
stand for
about it,"
anything.
and
Yeah.
then they're just like, "No, no, no. What does it mean?"
Oh
People
man.
are people are just stupid. It's all right.
Yeah. They
Not you
just don't
guys.
understand.
Not you
They
guys.
just
You
don't
guys listening are
understand.
cool and
Yeah. They
smart.
just don't understand the global battlefield research solutions.
Yeah, they're only they're only a domestic battlefield research solutions.
Localized
Localized
battlefield.
battlefield research. Yeah. Yeah. Neighborhood battlefield research
Yeah.
solution. No. Yeah, it's just down the street. That's as far as you go. The cul-de-sac battlefield research solutions. All right.
Yep.
So Enterprise Night Vision mount, I give it uh 2 leftover chicken nuggets out of 10.
2 leftover chicken nuggets out of 10. You know what? Just
Like
to
like it will do, like you can still eat it, and because the amount obviously works, and you can still eat leftover chicken nuggets, but it's not gonna be very filling, or doesn't really work.
All right. Well, my rating will be 1/3 of fruit by the foot.
Mm,
Because it gives you a little bit of a taste, but really it's not a full meal. So it's not
yeah, yeah,
fully fleshed out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, feel free to check us out on Instagram, dwai.videos. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know where we're at. We also got a Discord, so hit us up if you're interested in talking to us or want to follow up with questions or anything about certain topics and stuff that we talk about. And keep an eye because we got some swag coming out soon. Just like GBRS, we got some great designs coming out that are totally not cringy or
Overpriced.
totally 100% unique and glorious. So yep. But
Yeah.
you can only buy from us if you know what our name stands for.
And go call your moms. It's Mother's Day.
Ooh, good call. Good call.
Yeah. Yep. So because we'll totally release this on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. Maybe Mother's Day 2023.
Yeah. Make sure to call. Yeah, make sure to call your mom next year if you didn't call this year. So, oh god, I'm dropping stuff. All right.